Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to have a look at diamond sharpening stones. There are different types of diamond sharpening stones for Apex format guided sharpeners. Diamond sharpening stones, as the name suggests, use diamond as primary abrasive material. There are three different types of bonds being used in manufacturing these stones: galvanic, organic, and metal. I don't have metal one in my possession, so I'm just showing these two types and a picture of the metal one. Galvanic bond means that there is a thin layer of diamonds sprayed over a metal plate, and that's pretty much all you have. Once the plate wears out, you have just a bold blank, and you can't really do anything with it. Galvanic sharpening stones, or I should say probably galvanic sharpening plates, are not supposed to be leveled. You can use them out of the box as they are. Take a closer look. That's how a plate looks like. Just a piece of metal essentially. Organic bonds use a mixture of resin with diamond powder, and there is a layer of that resin sprayed on a blank on this aluminum base here, and this whole layer, to all its thickness, it's about 1.5 millimeter or 2 millimeters, has diamonds in it, meaning that when this stone wears out, you can use silicon carbide powder to refresh it, to grind off a little bit of the bond and open the diamonds that are inside, and continue using it. You also can and should level these stones before you use them. Diamond stones that use metal as a primary bonding compound are made by mixing essentially hot metal with diamond powder. That bond is significantly harder than the organic one, but it doesn't wear out as quickly. You also can and should level the metal-based diamond sharpening stones, and time to time when they get bold, you also should use a silicon carbide powder to refresh them by grinding off a thin layer of metal and surfacing the stones that are under that layer. That's the main difference between the galvanic bond and metal bond. Once the galvanic gets bold, you just have to throw it away, while the metal and organic stones you can just refresh and keep using for a long time. Recently a lot of people started to switch over to CBN. I'm pretty happy with using diamond plates. I might however get myself a few CBNs just to try them out and see how I feel about them. The manufacturing process of diamond and CBN sharpening stones is exactly the same. They use the same type of bonds. What is the best use for diamond sharpening stones? What steels they would perform best on? Well, pretty much anything. So any steel can be sharpened with diamonds. The only thing you should be cautious about is that since diamond is the hardest abrasive material there is, if you sharpen Japanese kitchen knives that are thin and heat treated to over 60 by Rockwell, you might make a tiny chip on the cutting edge if you would use, let's say, something like galvanic sharpening stones of very rough grit. I use galvanic only when I need to reprofile the edge. They eat up metal quite fast, and it's very easy to make a mistake that then you will spend a lot of time fixing. When I go to a finer grit, I just use these two that are manufactured by Vinov Diamond Factory. I would suggest using a synthetic finisher after you're done with profiling and sharpening the edge using diamond sharpening stones. Just silicon carbide or aluminum oxide would normally use a softer bond, especially if you pick something like Boride Engineering PC, Polisher's Choice. That's aluminum oxide on a very soft bond, and that will give you a perfect mirror on your edge, and also will remove any imperfections that may potentially be left there after you're using the diamonds. Shall you use them with oil or water? You kind of can go both, but I normally use oil, especially with the organic bond, because these guys get dirty quite quick, and if you use oil, that lifts metal residue very fast and leaves them very clean. That's just my personal preference here. The bottom line, based on my personal experience, is that you can pretty much sharpen anything, as I said, using diamond sharpening stones. Most of the time, if not all of the time, you would need a finer finisher. You can, however, use a diamond paste of very fine grit on a wooden blank to finish the edge after these stones. That combination would also work very well. I personally decide if I'm going to use diamond sharpening stones or synthetic ones based on the type of steel and its heat treatment. Those are the two deciding factors. The downside of using diamond sharpening stones, or CBN stones for that matter, is the price. They're quite expensive. However, if you would like to try out and see how you feel about them, you can get yourself a set of galvanic sharpening plates. Those are cheaper than synthetic sharpening stones. So if you're not sure if you need diamonds or not, get yourself a set of these, give them a spin, see how it feels, see how they wear out, for how long you're going to use them before you throw them away, and then you'll be able to make a more informed decision if you need diamond sharpening stones in your arsenal or not. And that's pretty much my opinion on these. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one, and you have a great day.